Welcome back to our last week of 5th grade Unit 4 Space Systems. Throughout this unit you've looked at gravity, you've looked at the sun, you've looked at the seasons, you've looked at the moon. Now we're going to expand our horizons into the planets themselves. This week will take a little bit longer, and I am going to kind of give you some options here. I know that Prezi hasn't been working very easily for many students, so if you'd like, instead of creating a Prezi, you can create a Google presentation. Most of you are very, very good at this, so I'm excited to see what you can create. But what I'd like you to do is create a presentation in one of those formats called Planets. And then you're going to view the presentation called the Planets. The link is here, and it looks like this, and it goes through what different planets are made of, as well as the different planets specifically with some different facts about them. This I created, so if you have any questions on it, feel free to send me an email. As you go through that, I want you to think about what you could report on that you think is important for everyone to know. And in your presentation, I want you to include a slide for each planet, first of all. That's the main thing. And then with each of those, I want you to have the name of the planet, and then I want you to choose a video from YouTube that you can find that would help someone understand the planet. And it should be no shorter than 1 minute and no longer than 3 minutes. I don't want them to be really long or too short, but there are a lot of great YouTube videos. If instead of YouTube you'd prefer to use Discovery Education, you're more than welcome to do that as well, or nasa.gov. That's also a great site to find videos on different planets. Make sure as you put these videos in that you actually watch them to make sure that they're good videos. Just because they're on YouTube, Discovery Education, or NASA doesn't mean they're good for 5th graders. So I'll be able to tell as I watch some of these videos if you watch them and what you think. When you're done with that, make sure that you put a link into your Google document titled Planets and place it into your To Be Graded folder. Or if you are creating a Google presentation, just create that into your To Be Graded folder called Planets. The only reason for the link is if you did Prezi, which some of you I'm sure will do. The last thing you're doing for your literacy connection is going to be editing. I'm not going to have you write a new poem this week, but I want you to go back through all of your stellar poetry from the whole unit and check for spelling, grammar, punctuation, and make sure that the poem meets the requirements stated. Last week, remember, was an epic, and it should be a decently length poem or story, but that's the big one that I'm looking at because most of the other poems are going to be very short and to the point. Also, sit down with someone in your family and explain the requirements of each poem and read them out loud to your family member. That will help them to not only hear some of the work that you're doing, but for you to make sure that your work is sufficient. Lastly, in the unit, you'll find the resources, unit checklist of things that need to be turned in, and then rubrics that go along with the checklist for different things that you're turning in.